Dax, Dax, Dax. It's all Dax. It's all Dax. Let's go. Let's tap into it.
You know my squad. You know my squad. I said now ain't nobody messing with my squad. You know my squad. You know my squad.
Subscribe Squad, is another day, is another dollar, and it's time for another freaking reaction, because that is what we do. You look at me and I look at you, you look at me and I look at you, you look at me and I look at you, you look at me and I look at you. That is what we do. Now, before we go ahead and react to some more Dax, I need you to do me a favor, the like button, sub button, bell button, because you can ring my bell. Ring my bell, my bell. Ring and ring and ring it. That we know every single time, literally every single time that I drop a new video. Now in that subscribe squad, we have this goal. We're trying to get the 50K subs. 50K subs. So, I got a new album dropping this Saturday, June 13th, my birthday, my 25th birthday, which is why it's called 25. 20 songs, 20 music videos. Make sure you buy this album, pre-order this album, click the link in the description below, or just, scribecash.com, right? You know what I'm saying? Do that. You can also continue to donate to the channel, CashApp, Venmo at TheRealScribe, PayPal, TheRealScribeCash at gmail.com. When you pre-order my new album or buy my new album, you will get a guaranteed reaction video request. Guarantee I will react to whatever video it is you want. So thank you for showing love. Thank you for supporting. It's my way of saying thank you. Now, with that being said, Dax dropped a video, about Black Lives Matter. You already know. So let's see what he has to say. Let's go. Remember when we were kids and didn't see color? That part. That freaking part.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Yeah, this a revolution in our time. Everybody's fighting, change coming, yes. That's why it's an acronym for riot. Everybody has a voice, don't you dare stay silent. If you say nothing, you are an accessory to violence. Let these words dry the tears of our people that are crying. We can bring back hope, but not the people that are dying. It's what happens when the people you've oppressed ask for change in the country that they built, but you've ignored and denied. This is Sandra Bland, George Floyd, and every single family. Police brutality is intervened in and destroyed. Couple bad cops can't define all you other boys, so every good cop needs to stand up and make some noise. Black, white, Asian, doesn't matter, cause we can't avoid. So let's all come together, join hands, and just get annoyed at people who believe racism makes sense in a country built of minorities, slave work, employed. Nobody's born racist, man, it's something you learn, deep rooted in your brain from the day of your birth. I think it's time that we repair all of these bridges we burned and let love out of our hearts onto the cheeks we've turned. Spread love, show love, let's get rid of this curse. Don't wait for anyone to act, man, you go first. 400 years wasted, let's get rid of this hurt, cause that's the only way we'll ever see peace on earth.
I can't breathe.
That part. Nobody's born racist. It's something that you learn. Like, that part. You know what I'm saying? But it's one thing for people to be racist, but it's another thing for a system to be set up for people who are being racist and acting on those racist thoughts and ideals to prevail in society. Where is the accountability? I was just talking to somebody today. I feel like any situation, so this is just in general, with the police, that it ends in death, why can't there just be a trial? Or, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not enough to have an investigation. There should actually be a trial. A situation that, leads to death, more likely with regular everyday human citizens, 9 times out of 10, it'll be a trial. Yes, you could be innocent until proven guilty, but that way we could have, a sense of accountability, more accountability. This is the idea, because I don't have all the answers, Sway. I'm not saying that's the solution to the problem, but it is an ideal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why can't we hold police? I feel like you should hold them to an even higher standard, because you signed up for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole I was in fear of my life thing, bro. That's like telling you in the military. You know what I'm saying? That's like somebody saying, I didn't want to shoot my gun, like, in the military, but you got deployed overseas. You signed up for this. So that part, you should be trained properly. I also think, and mind you, like I said, both of my parents were in law enforcement, so I have a completely different perspective than the average person. Like, I know what proper training actually is. I also have, insight on how certain people are racist and what the blue, quote unquote, blue wall really is. Like, I understand, and it's a systematic problem that is allowed based off of our society, and I think our judicial system goes hand in hand. Obviously, we got the DOJ. Obviously, you got the attorney generals. Like, everything. It's a systematic problem. Yes, there are quote unquote bad apples, but these bad apples, the reason why they're not weeded out is because there's no accountability for these quote unquote bad apples. It's just like, as a kid, you know what I'm saying? If you have somebody who's bullied and bullied and bullied and they're written up for it, you know what I'm saying? At some point, that kid is going to get kicked out of school. And so, where's the accountability for these quote unquote bad apples? And I think honestly, that's really what people want. We understand there's always going to be certain people that have prejudice. There's always going to be evil people in the world, but we should be able to hold those people just as accountable as regular everyday citizens. And I can sit here and I can talk about this topic over and over and over and over again. And we could talk about even on the subject matter of Black Lives Matter, of the hashtag. The people say it's racist. I'm like, get out of here with that. Like, that is the most laughable statement that you made. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, all lives matter. Nobody is saying that all lives don't matter, but it's the same thing that if you live in a neighborhood, right, and your house is on freaking fire, is somebody saying, is the next neighbor over saying, oh, what about my house? Well, your house is not burning down, bro. People are trying to bring attention to these situations. In these particular situations, it was treated as such that person's lives didn't matter because they were black. Is that a universal statement for every situation that goes on in society? No. But in these particular situations, race was a factor. And why is it that in these particular situations, people are treated less than because they're African American or black or a person of color? That's not acceptable. We are no longer accepting that, so therefore we're making the statement Black Lives Matter. And it's just like, okay, if you don't agree with the statement, you know what I'm saying, like, my whole thing is like, it's become something that's so much bigger, you know what I'm saying? It's become like a symbol, you know what I'm saying, like a symbol. There's a lot of people who disagree with the Confederate flag and the rebel flag based off of the actions that was taking place, you know what I'm saying, based off of proven actions that were taking place that was wrong against black people in America. There's a lot of people who see that and off top they're like, I hate the rebel flag, I hate the Confederate flag, right? But when you educate yourself, and I'm not saying I'm for it or, you know what I'm saying, or against it or any of that, but when you educate yourself, to a lot of people, the Confederate flag or the rebel flag means something that's totally different. It means something that's totally positive, or it means Southern pride. And there's actually African American black people, whatever you want to call it, that rock the rebel flag and the Confederate flag, right? So for me to sit here and say the Confederate flag or rebel flag is racist, yes, there are certain individuals who are extremists who are affiliated with that flag, right? But I'm not going to sit here and point every single person and put you all in a category and say that you're racist. That's what I'm not going to do. So why is it that people say that anybody who uses the hashtag Black Lives Matter is an extremist or a racist or a rebel and is a part of the Black Panther or Antifa? Like, that is not the case. For the majority of people, Black Lives Matter, the word, the hashtag, the association itself represents something that is positive, represents something that is uplifting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just baffling to me when people be like, no, Black Lives Matter, no, all lives matter. Like, get out of here. Get the freak out of here. Nobody asked you. Bye. If you gonna unsub to my channel, then bye. Like, bye. We don't need you here anyway. We're trying to bring an awareness to these events and these situations and that are not getting paid the proper attention and are not bringing justice. And that's what it's all about. It's about awareness and justice. And at the end of the day, we just want to be treated like everybody else, bro. Let's treat everybody the same. Like, can we please get to that point where we treat everybody the same? And if people were held accountable, if police were being held accountable for their actions, and I'm saying it's not even just the race thing that's an issue. Like, we're into the stage that it's the militarization of police in general that is a problem, that is an issue in America. Why is it that, and I live in California, I live in the Inland Empire, Why is it that 30 minutes from me in Huntington Beach, thousands of people came out to protest about having to wear masks, about a pandemic that is real, bro. Like, that is really real, and people have died. No police showed up. And even if they did show up, they didn't show up with no tear gas. They didn't have the tanks. Nothing, bro. Because they wanted to go to the beach. We talk about the beach, and they had to wear a mask. Boo-hoo. Everybody's life changed because of the pandemic. Boo freaking who. But when people have a peaceful protest, and mind you, there's antagonists, there are people who are looting, there are people who are doing stuff, right? But for the majority of the part during the daytime, the mass majority of the people who were involved were peaceful protesters. You got to show up in tanks. You shooting tear gas and rubber. This is America we're talking about. And we're shooting tear gas as our citizens. You know that America and the UN literally prosecute and give sanctions to other countries for using tear gas and chemical things on their citizens. But we're doing it and we're showing it on national television like it's just A-okay, bro. People lost eyes and stuff off of rubber bullets, but it's just A-okay. I know I'm on a rant, but I'm on my rant and I'm keep going. It's just A-okay. When people are peaceful protesters, magically when the police stopped showing up to these peaceful protests over this past week, there hasn't been any issues. Yeah, bro, because you're starting the issue. Facts. And we're not talking about, the quote-unquote bad apples of people who are looters. And I've seen lots of video where those looters are not actually people who are affiliated with Black Lives Matter. Those looters and stuff are either undercover police or the people from extremist groups. They're talking about Antifa, but what about the fact that the KKK was at multiple of the protests and started multiple instances where they're breaking in windows? No. Or other extremist white supremacist groups have literally been associating themselves and affiliating themselves, saying that they were going to meet up to these protests and start trouble because they knew that it was going to get blamed on black people. It was a video of one of my close friends, Nia Miranda, who I was in acting class. Shout out to Nia. It went viral I think it was last week or the week before, and my other friend, Courtney Nicole, and they were literally peacefully protesting, and people who were not affiliated with the protests tried to blend in with the protests, and they started spray painting on, I think it was like a Starbucks. So they addressed those people, and they were literally yelling at those people to stop because they knew that they were going to blame the Black Lives Matter protesters. And it's just messed up. It's just all around messed up. And that's what I say, I mean, race is involved in this, but the beautiful thing about a lot of these peaceful protests, it's just been people from all different cultures. You know what I'm saying? To me, this is the most that I've seen people from outside of black culture protest, specifically because of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery. And I think, it's the perspective of the world is changing and is moving in a positive direction. And that to me is the most uplifting part about all of it. Is despite the police officers literally assaulting, going out of the way. People are peacefully protesting, going out of the way to assault the peaceful protesters. Not all of them, some. Despite people looting, which I feel like to me is wrong. You know what I'm saying? But at the same, if we're gonna play devil's advocate, why do we care more about property than people's lives, than black people losing their lives? That's a problem. Target has insurance. We can't get George Floyd back. I think it's wrong though. Me personally, I wouldn't be looting. I wouldn't be tearing stuff up. That's not me. But we shouldn't care more about the looting and the businesses being torn down than we do about these individuals losing their lives. I have a problem with that. I definitely have a problem with that. And if we really gonna dive into it, this time around, in the past, it seems like the black community was rioting and tearing up their community. I think a lot of that, the outbursts and the outcries, because they ain't tearing up their community no more. You see, they going to Louis Vuitton and Gucci, and you know what I'm saying, in prominent neighborhood, Rodeo Drive got spray painted and boarded up, and you know what I'm saying, I think that's why people are like, where are the people protecting us? Blah, 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 blah. Still wrong, though. Right is right, wrong is wrong. I don't think you need to do all that. And so I'm going to get back to the music and conclude my rant. But what I will say is this. It's a systematic issue. It's beyond just retraining officers. Like, it's beyond that. It goes all the way up to the Supreme Court as to what consists of probable cause, and the fact that getting pulled over, getting stopped, it has such a low bar for police to be like, I'm gonna stop such and such. I think police have too much power when it comes to determining their interactions with people, and so we need to fix that. Now back to the music. Sorry, I know, long one. Let's go.
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Change is what we really need. Cut me open, cut you open, res the color every single human being bleeds. Let's come together, cops, citizens, and in between, and rally for the rights of everybody in humanity. Black, blue, white, green, playing for the same team. Mine, I'm okay, but boy, that doesn't mean I can't dream. Black lives matter, shouldn't anger you or make you scream. All lives matter, cause we aren't treated equally. Remember when we were kids and didn't see color, and when we played in kindergarten and I called you my brother. Then we grew up and they taught us we should hate on each other, even though we weren't in the same and we all came from our mothers. I hope y'all understand, hate is not a trait, it was learned, man. Equality is the quality we need inside this earth, man. Give and receive is the karma that you earn, man.
That part, man, that part. I second those notions, and it's great that he's, using his platform to do something positive. I'm all here for that. I mean, y'all know how I feel though. Like, and I'm not finna apologize for my opinion. It just is what it is. At the end of the day, I will say this though: we could have a complete disagreement on opinions, but I'm still open to hear your perspective. Like, don't think that I'm not open. I try my best to stay in a respectful manner too. I come with my opinion from love, and you guys are welcome to chime in. The only comments that get deleted are the ones that are literally disrespectful. Other than that, give me your opinion. We could have a whole conversation in the comments below. All right, this went way too long. I got lots of stuff to do. Love you guys. See you next time.